what it do? How are you? Hootie hoo. Happy Sunday too. I am the sound of money in your ear, dollar Avant. That's still double O. I'm often imitated, never duplicated. They call me the $1 billion babe, aka the pitch queen, aka the people's coach, aka Coach Dollar Bill. And you are in the dollhouse. This is the home of high value entrepreneurs. Over here, you guys, is day number 18 of the 100-day challenge. I like how I can just look at the date and know what day we're on, because I don't be knowing what day it is. Because I'm here every day. I mean, what are we gonna do? We're gonna show up every day. I want you guys to be prepared to take notes and kind of do whatever you need to do so you could take this into action for this week. I'm very committed to action. This is like my word for the year. Do y'all do that? I don't really do that, but I have a group of friends that does that, and my word with them was shine. Like, I'm just going to be all the way outside this year, like, for no, because I know I'm supposed to. It's my calling. It's whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing a lot because I have the capacity. Like, why would you operate at 45% of your brain capacity when you could operate at 100? Like, basically. So I'm outside, and as a part of that, me showing up every day, I just made a new schedule where I'm going to be showing up multiple times a day on all my different channels. I just launched my Substack today, like officially. It was unofficially launched, but now it's like there's a post on there, whatever. And I'm pretty excited. So I want to encourage you guys to, if you got pen and paper and all that, because we're going to do a little exercise to like categorize what's important and plan our week this week. But in addition to that, I want to make sure that we go into kind of the spirit of why we do this work. Because that's something that's really important to me, is to just keep re-emphasizing why we show up like this and the power of consistently showing up like this, as opposed to like, oh, I'll come when I feel like it, but it's whatever. Like, if we got stuff to do, that's one thing. But in terms of trying to really see change in our lives and see something that maybe wasn't possible for us before, but now it is, we needed to think about it in a different context. So one of the things I wanted to share was this idea that when you're rewiring your brain, the consistency that's required to do that is actually, like, when I show up and speak to you guys, I'm speaking to an audience of one. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I could have called some celebrity friends and like run some ads and like done a bunch of fancy stuff. Like, okay, I'm going to be outside now, and I'm not here for that. I'm here for the one that shows up. I'm talking to you. I'm taking everything that I've been given, everything that I've been exposed to, and I'm sharing it with you to create space, to hold space for you to have this transformation, because you might be the only one in your family that's moving in this way. You might be the only one that is able to kind of step outside of the traditional programming and start moving differently. And so my job is just to hold space for that. I feel like it's a sacred calling. And so I thank you guys for being a part of that every day when you show up. And I just want you to know how special that is to me and how special you are. So with that, let us get into it. So like I said, if your heart led you here, however you got in the dollhouse, because people be leaving me messages all the time, I don't know how I got here. But if your intuition led you here, you're in the right place. We talked about it the other day, about what it means to know the truth, and that actually makes you free. It's not an intellectual understanding. This is experiential knowing that comes from doing, living, leaping into the unknown. And, we're basically manufacturing. This is like a little factory. We're manufacturing our own financial freedom, our mental freedom, our ability to stay outside of and above, float above all of the foolishness out here, by taking direct action and having a direct experience every single day. So there is a through line from experiential truth, something that you're doing right now in the present moment, and we're going to talk about that today. There's a through line from that to financial freedom. And it comes from the heart. Like, we're not just doing an intellectual exercise when we get together. It's actually from the heart, because that's, that energetic, that electromagnetic, that pulse that creates everything. We can't just learn, kind of mentally assent and learn our way into this level of freedom that we say we want it actually only comes from experience. So every conversation that we have together in these moments, every conversation you have when you go out and talk to people, every time you're vulnerable, you take a leap across something you don't really know, you're not comfortable with it, you do it anyway. These are not obstacles. This is the path. So I don't have to like flood you with information, although I do give a lot of great information because I want you to have receipts. I'm not just telling you to hope and believe. I'm telling you why this stuff actually works. But every time you go into something new that's not familiar to you, like I keep telling you, we're creating these neural pathways. And we get to the point where we drop down and trust that voice of our intuition. Your heart is going to speak louder than your head. And we need that in the days ahead. And all of your experiences with your knower, and I did it and it worked, that's going to shift your beliefs at the deepest level, the quantum level, the cellular level, if you will. So it's not just entertainment. This is transformation. Um, so I'm glad that you found your way here. I'm so happy to be able to do this. I don't know how many more years or months I'll have to be able to do it in a small group setting. So I really want you to know that I honor your presence and thank you for showing up. And I try to make this a fun space, but a sacred space. So let us get into it. Let me see. This is day number 18. And we are going to talk about what it means and the power of being present in the moment and how that translates into our schedule and our plan for the week. So y'all know about the lady, what's the lady? We've heard the story, Florence Nightingale. We know that she's like the founder of modern nursing or whatever, but she was also a statistician. She was using data and data visualization, trying to save lives way back in the day. This is 1854. And I didn't know this, but as a data scientist, I came across this story. She was collecting data. Every time somebody died, passed away, she was categorizing the causes and tracking those patterns over time. And that's how she learned that people weren't really dying from their wounds, you know, they were dying from like those infections and the unsanitary hospitals and all of that. It was all from the data. Who knew? And so she started to present her findings in these little charts and things. And every time she saw the pattern, they would make a change, make a change, make a change. And after a few months, they made an improvement in the overall sanitation conditions, and they dropped the death rate from 42% to 2%. I didn't know that, like I said, till I got into data science. So she saved thousands of lives, not because they had better medicine techniques and all that, but because she was doing pattern recognition. So that's what I really am trying to get y'all to flip the switch in your brain. We want to track everything we're doing. What are we doing with our time? What are we doing with these calls? What is happening? What are the outcomes? Because if we could start to see pattern recognition and analyze it, the value of your business is going to increase exponentially. You could grow something and actually sell it. Like you will build a sellable business and have all these customers and all these clients and all of the, you know, this book of business, and somebody will come and try to write you a check, or somebody will come and try to invest, or somebody, you know, you could take it, do all that stuff that people talk about doing. It comes from being in the moment, in the data, in the day-to-day of what's going on here. So that's why corporations take minutes. You know, again, these accelerators and all these programs are garbage. They don't teach any of this. Like, why? I don't know. But the reason why corporation and the minutes and the books and all of that, it's not just so legally you can check the box that I did the thing and you don't get in trouble, you know, with the Secretary of State or whatever. It's supposed to be a record of what are you doing every day. Like you should be able to job cost. Like if I was going to go hire, you know, a team of 50 people, you know, in my startup and do a series A and a series B and all that stuff, somebody in that organization has to actually job cost down to the minute. What are these people doing every day? And then that rolls up to how we justify their salary. What, you know, all of that factors into what percentage of, you know, revenue are we spending on, you know, the employees versus the ROI on that investment. Somebody's supposed to be doing that. And it starts here when you're a team of one or a team of two, or you got yourself and some, you know, contractors or yourself or some consultants around you. So the way for us to kind of get our mind into just tracking what's happening right now is what we're going to talk about today. So the present moment, y'all know how they say, oh, the power of now, and, you know, focus on the present because it's a gift and all of that. Did you ever look at that word present? It's like present. Like you're sending frequency down in advance, delivering, transmitting that, dispatching it to your future. Pre-sent. I never saw that before. And I was like, hold on. So what you're doing right now, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, believing, choosing, all the actions that you're going to take this coming week, you're transmitting something into your future. It's being sent to your future self. You're actually encoding the outcomes of your business by what you do right now, just like showing up right here, right now. And I think that's so powerful because the someday and the when I get ready and I hope all of that is being determined by what you do right now. It's just like a football game. It's every down, every play, every what do you do? We hike the ball, right? Every time. What you do each time is determining the outcome of that game. So it's right now in the present moment. So like a conveyor belt, like in a factory, you got those finished products that come off at the end of the line, but that's your revenue, your close rate, your outcomes in your business, how your life turns out. Like, when you have your retirement party and they want to talk about all the stuff you do, that's the outcome. That's the result. But you can't fix it at the end. It shows up what you do every step along that journey, every step along that conveyor belt, right? So that's your present moment, what you do every day, every week, your behaviors, your beliefs, your frequency, and all of the things. So let's talk about it on today. I talked before about raising the bar, BAR. That stands for beliefs, actions, results. What you believe determines your behaviors, your actions, and those decisions, which determines your actions, and those actions are going to determine your results. I mean, we hear this, we know this, but no, like literally. What you do, not sometimes, all the time, it's a math equation. What you do is going to determine your results. So your beliefs about what's possible, your values about, does it matter how I spend my time? Does it matter that I'm hanging and kind of chilling throughout the week and then I go to a couple meetings and then I go back to nothing? Does it matter what frequency are you on? The emotional signature, the energetic state that you're operating from all day, every day. Do you believe that it matters? If you don't believe it matters, you won't show up, right? And then so in the middle is your daily actions. You go about your business. You're not really on a schedule. It's whatever. And then you get outcomes. And then you're like, oh, well, and most of us are like super smart. That's the problem with being so brilliant, is like, you'll still get really good outcomes. But just like I was saying when I started, I know for a fact, like in periods of my life, I'm operating at like 35%. And I'm like all the way outside, like winning, like everybody's like, oh my God. And I know there's more. I know there's more. And so if you want to speed up the results, or you want to enhance or get, out exponentially greater, let's say, results than you've been getting, come back over here and work on the small behaviors at the micro level, right? To impact those macro end results. So your business is a result of every little thing you do. Every little thing you do. And we got to hit the right frequency throughout the day, throughout the week. And that's going to determine what we get at the end of the month, or the end of the quarter, or the end of this year. So you can't really copy somebody else's strategy. It has to be customized for you. So there's an infinite possibility, right? Like think again, if it's an equation, I'm trying to get to the number 4. There's actually an infinite number of ways, different sets of numbers, 2 plus 2, 1 plus 3, 6 minus 2, like on and on and on, that you could do to get to the number 4. So what I'm doing here in the dollhouse is I'm reducing all of those infinite choices. Okay, I know how to get my business going. Okay, Then there's all these different things, like which way do I go? I'm zooming that down, giving you a very set, a small set of choices. Here, pick from here. I'm telling you, based on my experience, I'm telling you, based on what my billionaire mentors have done, I'm telling you, based on coaching thousands of entrepreneurs. It's right here. Here's your toolkit right here. Do it from here, right? And so those 5 things that we talked about yesterday, do that every day. Okay, incorporate that. And then from there, you get to be creative and do all the things. It's going to speed you up. And then you get the data and the feedback and you analyze it and then you tighten it up again. Like you can go so much faster. Like you actually can literally be making 10, 20, 30 plus $1,000 a month in your business, certainly by the end of this calendar year, just by laser focusing in the way that we are during this 100-day challenge. So frequency has kind of two sides to it, two meanings. That's your vibrational state. That's how you're showing up. That's your energetic signature, like from physics and all of that. But that's also what you do most frequently becomes your frequency. That's how often something occurs, the rate of repetition, like how quickly something is vibrating. Music, it's a frequency, it's a tone. So that's like statistics, behavior, something we could track. So the frequency of your frequency determines your results. I think y'all can catch me on that one. The frequency of your frequency determines your results. So being in a high vibrational state, being excited, being inspired, doing all that is cool. But it's how often are you doing all of that? And what you do while you're in that state. Do you just run around and woo, tell somebody, woo, my vision, and you're excited that you outside? Or do you actually now put in this work from a high vibrational state and clock it and track it and then go back and document it and then do it again every day, right? So like if you get off for a moment and you're like, oh my God, I just can't work right now, that doesn't ruin your business. But if you off all day, every day, or you off 3 weeks and then you work for 2 days and then you off for 2 weeks and you work for a minute and that's going to determine your outcome, right? So what we do most frequently is pre-sending those signals to your future. These are the data points that we talked about the other day. You get in motion, then what you do every moment is sending signals to your future. That's going to determine your future state. So one great sales conversation, I'm clear, I'm confident, I'm aligned, I'm outside. That's amazing. But we don't do it based on our emotion. What if tomorrow I don't feel like it? But the system will carry me forward. So because the system is working, I still have 3 people who want to get on a call today. So I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it. Give me some tea, give me some energy, and I'm going to get on the thing. And by the time I get into the call, the energy comes and I do the thing. Not because I felt like it, but because the system is carrying me forward. I'm on a conveyor belt. I'm already predetermined the signals. I'm already preset where I'm going to end up if I stay on this frequency. So what you do most frequently is what we want to encode. And we don't want to leave it up to chance. We don't want to leave it up to life be life in. We don't want to leave it up to, what's going on and the family and, different, because something is always going to happen. Okay. Chaos is coming. America is going down in flames, like all the things. So you can't leave it up to that. You want to have your systems in place to carry you to this predetermined, preset destination. And how we do that is remaining in the present moment, following the schedule that we set and made those decisions ahead of time. We made a decision ahead of time for our week. This is what I'm going to be doing. At Tuesday at 10 o'clock, this is what I'm going to be doing. Wednesday at 7, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing my content Saturday from 10 to 1. Hey, kids, handle that, because from 10 to 1, you're with mom. Because over here, I got to do, whatever that is. We have to make those decisions ahead of time, pre-send that frequency to your future. That is the beauty of creating a schedule and then living according to that. And also, when you have a team, you can't just show up when you want to, because other people have to coordinate their schedules to align with what you got going on. And also, the energetic field can't even circulate around you if people don't know when and where you're going to be showing up. So we want to predetermine when we're going to show up in the frequency and do the activities. So our beliefs that this is how it works will determine the actions that we commit to, and that's going to determine the results. So that's how we raise the bar. Last year, you might have only made X amount in your business, but this year, $30,000 a month. And saying it casually, like it's nothing. What? That should not sound like a big number, okay? So data or that insight that we get is encoded in every present moment. So that's what I want y'all to do, is lock into the present moment. because that's going to show you all the stuff you don't know. Like, I'm not sure what to do. I don't know if this strategy is going to work for me in my business. I'm not sure how to get from, I talked to a couple of people, but I'm not sure. The thing you're not sure about, you're going to get that from the data. And you get data by getting in action. You got to have enough data to then come back and say, oh, then it'll be obvious to you what strategy to employ next in your business. You can't jump past this part. So I think I'm being clear. So we don't want just the surface pattern. 5 people said I don't have time. Okay, that's cool. We want the structural patterns. Why are they saying that? What are they dealing with? What are they going through? They tried other stuff, it didn't work. Or they think it's going to take more time than it really does. Like, the deeper you go with this work, you can encode your offer, encode the way you talk, encode everything to adjust to it. It's not just a surface, oh man, try again. You don't have to like run through 10,000 people and just hope. It's a numbers game. Like, all of that stuff is from the artificial system. I'll teach you the ancestral way. Your abundance is your birthright. It's the natural system of abundance. Okay, so you don't have to be like, okay, it's a numbers game. You know what I'm saying? Just keep going. Just keep dialing for dollars. You don't have to do that. If we get deeper and we know exactly what's going on because we're present in the moment and we get the proper data feedback from every encounter, then we can collapse time and speed up this thing and don't have to take 2-3 years to get where we're trying to go. So, like, for example, if you keep attracting people that are telling you, oh, I can't afford that. I mean, I need that, but I can't afford that. You need to look at your frequency. What circles and rooms are you in? What frequency are you on that you're attracting people who feel like they can't pay you? What's your frequency when you're having those initial conversations? Are you undervaluing yourself? Are you not brave enough to walk into the rooms where that budget that you're asking for is a no-brainer for them? Are you not being brave enough to go and call whatever national organization and just be like, hey, this is what I got going on. Do y'all have a program like this? Because I haven't seen it. I'm here to volunteer. I'm here to learn. What we doing? Like, just call somebody you wouldn't even normally call. Put yourself in another position. Every time you raise your belief, you put yourself in rooms that the other version of you would not have reached, would not have stepped into. So if you do that enough, make yourself a little uncomfortable, go in here with a plan. I got a game plan. I got a playbook. I know kind of how to show up. I'm going to go out here and learn, get some data, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now I know what to do. I've learned something. I've elevated. I can see predictive patterns. I know what to do. I know how to move. Now I'm in a higher arena than I was before. You're raising the bar. The more you raise the bar, the more you collapse time, the quicker you're going to get to these bigger, higher income numbers. And settle your nervous system. So at every state, when you go to like, I'm going in rooms I've never been in, I'm calling the type of client I normally wouldn't call, I'm stepping out my comfort zone or whatever that is, I'm going to start sending these messages on LinkedIn, I'm going to start going to this kind of networking event instead of that one. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. You get in there, you regulate your nervous system till you're at a high frequency, you're calm, collected, cool, you're practicing, do what you need to do, you prepare, you go in the room, now you're getting data. Boom, 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 getting data. Come back, review the data. Okay, I know what to do. Now you've learned something. Every time you learn something, whoop, you raise the bar. That's literally it. Just like breathing. Nobody's going to do this because all the noise is, I can't do that. So I believe that I've been very successful in changing somebody's belief in these last few days. So if your beliefs have shifted, you'll know because you'll feel light. You'll be like, yep, I can handle this. And so all we're going to do is put some parameters around that light energy, that expansive energy. Now we're just going to put some parameters around it and direct it. That's how you schedule your week. Okay. So from the state of abundance, from the state of safety, from the state of, I feel great, I can do this. When your nervous system is in that state, now it's time. Now it's time to encode that. And that's what a schedule is. That's what the elephant diet is. It's just encoding it. So once we've aligned with a new belief, now we're going to take actions or encode a set of actions for the week, align with that belief, so that if something happens, the old frequency comes, some tries to trip you up. Nope, we're on this path, we're on this conveyor belt right here. We already set the level for the week. We already set the thermostat. And then you're pre-sending that signal to the future, guaranteeing that you're going to get a higher result than you would have gotten in the old frequency. Okay, so we're showing up from a place of service, not a place of desperation, showing up from an expansive, creative place, not a place of fear and contraction. Showing up knowing that people are going to like you, trust you, want to work with you, and you're going to learn something too. And that data, every time you get that data, it's going to make you better. You're going to learn something. Every time you learn something, you level up. It's a spiral. We're spiraling up. That's it. That's it. So, oh, by the way, I learned this story when I went to Apple headquarters. Apparently, you can't get in Apple Park. I was there. And this is a story they told me. Steve Jobs, obviously, he wasn't there and I was there, but one of his first people that used to work in an Apple store ever in life was the one that gave us the tour. And they had some concepts around what an Apple store would be or should be. Okay. But they didn't know. So what they did was they got this empty warehouse space and they just set up what they thought it would be, just one. Okay. And then they told people, hey, we got some stuff. Come on in here and check it out. Da-da-da. They weren't like just seeing how many people came to the store. Did anybody buy anything? Okay. They weren't in a contracted like state. They wanted data. So they were like, how many people came? What type of people came? Why are they moving through the space this way? What's driving their behavior? Why are they looking at this but not at this? What are they touching over here? What are they spending more time? They were trying to encode this environment, get all the data so they could encode an environment that gave the best flow. They noticed that people would walk in, they see a big wall of products, all these choices, and it was too much. And they would freeze and they had decision paralysis. They didn't know where to go first, so they just kind of stopped. So they thought it was impressive to have this big product wall with all this stuff, but it was actually paralyzing. Their environment, their first experiment, created confusion, overwhelm, so they didn't really make too many sales. So they were like, oh. So they started changing the way they organized the store. Y'all know how sleek and cool a little Apple store looks like. It actually revolutionized retail, right? They started organizing it based on what people want to do. Do I need help with my device? Do I want to make music? Do I want to edit photos? Do I want to create presentations? All of that. Not organized by a product. They put the customer in mind. And then they made the store layout reflect that. They organized the entire store basically around use cases, not product categories, and encoded it. So they got greater sales, higher satisfaction. Y'all know people stay in the Apple store for hours. They don't leave. They got loyalty, brand loyalty. This was early in the game, obviously. And so they were able to change the frequency, encode each store with the design of the layout of the store. They encoded it with something that was going to automatically be successful. The workers wanted to be at work. The customers wanted to stay in there. They made all the money because it was encoded. Not like, hey, want to buy my product? Hey, we're Apple. Hey, get into the weeds of this thing. Get into the data of what makes this great. What do people respond to? What am I doing for real? If you do that, I'm telling you, it's unlimited. This is where billionaires are born. This is where abundance comes from. It's in the details. It's in the weeds. It's in the frequency of, I want this data. I want to know what's going to happen if I try this, do this. Try not like, oh my God, I got to do this work this week. And, oh, I got to have a schedule. I don't want a schedule. Like I'm an artist. Like I just want to be outside. I just want to float. Like this gives you the ability when you create some parameters. This gives you the ability to now see enough patterns to learn something and get better. It's going to transform your business. I'm just saying. So most people don't do that because we're not documenting stuff deliberately. We're just kind of floating around. Maybe you had a toxic work environment and you're like, I don't want to do all that anymore. Okay, well, either you're going to do it, you're going to hire somebody who's going to do it, or your business is going to be a hustle all the time and not turn into something sustainable. You got to choose. But if you got into the habit, it's a part of our 5 things that we do every day. We practice our pitch. We pick our afro, meaning we really work on the afro method and have that flow down pat. We activate our inner circle. We talk to actual humans. We're looking at a piece of paper and saying, who am I going to talk to today? 2, 3, 5, as many as you can. Talk to real humans every day about your work, right? Then after we do that, we get to the point where we're ready to start having those conversations, executing at a high level, and make sure that we document what happened in all those conversations. We can do this. If we do this every single day, you update your CRM, you'll have data. So you'll know what to do when it's time to plan your week. You'll know. You won't be like, okay, what do I do this week? It's not, okay, I need to make some money. You should never start your week, oh God, I got to make some sales this week. That is the wrong frequency. Okay, so we got to make sure we're documenting deliberately. Don't analyze too soon, right? If you've only had 2, 3, 4, 5 conversations, that's not enough data points. You want to accumulate enough data and really get in there and let those patterns emerge. And we don't just stop at the surface. We want to dig deeper. We want to ask the question, well, why do you feel that way? Tell me more about that. Like, you really want people to open up to you and tell you why they're behaving the way they are, so that you can make an adjustment based on the actual root of what's going on and encode that into your business. I think I'm making sense. And you can't skip the analysis, because you take all of that and then you sit with it. Now your intuition is stronger and sharper than it was before. You should be sharper this week as we plan our week, than you were last week when you prepared and planned your week. Okay. So we had our CRM. If y'all need that link, y'all let me know in the chat. I can go pull that Airtable link thing. But we did all that. So you should be able to look and see the names of your people that you in the process of talking to and having conversations with, right? What was the outcome of the conversation? Are you following up? Are you somewhere? Are you getting ready to schedule a call? Have you already had a follow-up call? What is that? Did they have any objections? What was the language that they used? What resonated with them? What's their decision style? We talked about all of this. And any of the notes they told you, what's the name of the baby? You should know the name of the dog and the brother and all the little stuff that they mentioned to you. Have y'all heard the story about Bill Clinton? I used to tell it all the time, but I can't use no celebrity examples no more because everybody's canceled. But anyway, he was known for, he started when he was at Oxford, I believe. Every person he met, he would like take notes. This is obviously way before we had smartphones and everything. He would take notes, the person's name, where they're from, like any kind of details they learned. He learned about them in the early conversations with them. And then he would follow up with them for decades. I'm talking about the person he met when he was a 22-year-old student at Oxford. He was sending Christmas cards and birthday cards and things every year. So by the time he was running for governor, and certainly by the time he was running for president, he had thousands of people all over the world who thought highly of him, that he kept engaged. That's just tracking data. That's just keeping a real human connection, paying attention. So every time when it was time for him to ask for something, it was like, of course, he had a real relationship. And remember, business is just relationships with numbers. So the more you're willing to commit to documenting everything, showing up in a high frequency, making real connections with real humans, and then tracking what works and tweaking it. It's like, I don't want to use the word guarantee, but I don't know what other word to use. Like, how are you not going to make money? It's like not possible for real. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think that if you are willing to suspend your disbelief, let's say it that way, if you suspend your disbelief, like you don't take all that, I just want somebody to come and write me a check, and I just want somebody to make an investment in what I got going on. And I know LeBron went to school with my uncle, and so I'm just going, all of that. If you could suspend all of that and stop waiting for somebody to come and do something for you, and sit with the idea, what if I am the value? What if me and my diamond mind, I can produce something that's going to create something in the energetic field that's going to bring money back to me? What if I have the power to make money with my mind? Can you hold that belief long enough to let it just run this play with me this week? Run this experiment with me. Okay. So every day, you can pull out your notebook, calendar, however you schedule your week and stuff like that. I need you to do these things every day. We talked about it at length yesterday. Go back and get the replay and all the things. But listen. Where in your schedule are you going to do the following? This is what I need you to do. Every day, every day, every day. About 10 minutes, at least. But at least about 10 minutes. You need to practice your 5-star pitch. When are you going to schedule time to do that? I'm pulling out my calendar right now. Every day. Every day. Every day. So I have mine on here at 8:30. Because that's when I'm drinking my tea. That's when I'm, I got my journal out, So I just am going to do my new pitch for the dollhouse because y'all know this is not my main business. I got other stuff I'm doing. So now I got to model this for you guys. So I'm going to practice my new pitch. I just came up with a new phrase yesterday, that sounds more like the people that I talk to than it does like me. So I changed it. So I got to practice. So I remember to say it that way. So I'm practicing my 5-star pitch at 8:30 every morning. When are you going to practice yours? Okay. Second thing, every day. Work on your Afro method, the getting into the flow. So do I know what my problem language? Do I know what problem I solve? If I hear somebody having a conversation, do I know the phrases that they're using that's like, oh, they're talking about me. I need to insert myself. Excuse me, I couldn't help it over here. Da 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 da. Because they're not going to say, I need a water filter that's certified by the NSF, to remove arsenic and whatever, benzene. Okay, they're not going to say technical language. They're going to say, man, my skin has really been, I don't know what's going on. The kids I'm concerned. They keep getting these rashes and I don't know what, we haven't done anything different. I thought it was the detergent. I changed the detergent. I took all the scent out. I did this, I did that. And I don't know if she has some kind of allergy. I don't know what's going on. Excuse me. I couldn't help but overhear you. Have you had your water quality tested? No. What do you mean? Then I get to do my thing. But if I don't know that that's the problem language that people are speaking that's related to my work, I'll miss that opportunity. So prime your ears for the problem language that people are using. So you need to be reviewing that every morning. Identify the connections that you have with the people that you're going to be talking to that day, that week. So I have to go to, let me see, I got a board meeting this week. So this is our first board meeting of the year. So I need to be thinking about, okay, George said they had a grandchild. Let me write that down. I need to ask him about that. And Lisa said that she wanted me to reach out to the NFL Players Association, and I forgot to call. So let me make sure I do that. Lakeisha told me that she wanted to, let me write this down. This is real, y'all. I'm not playing. Lakeisha told me that she wanted to follow up about working for the foundation. So I hadn't even thought about what we're going to talk about on that. So let me pull our notes from that meeting. You know what I'm saying? Actually, literally identify what you're going to be talking to people about for the week or for that day. Then, because we're picking our Afro, P-I-C-K. So priming for problem language. I read an article. I saw something. I didn't know people were even having this issue because to you, it's obvious because you're the expert. So now include that in the problem language that you're listening for. Identify connections and points of connectivity for the people you're going to talk to that day, that week. Choose things that are in current events that you can talk about. You could start a conversation. You're like, did y'all know that fundraising is actually down on this board meeting? It's actually down 42%. I saw a report. They probably don't know that. So we need to do something a little bit more aggressive and more creative to make sure that our foundation and our annual, receipts that we get in terms of donations is not down, because overall nationwide we're down. So can we add that to the agenda? Like that. Choose something that's current, that's going to get their attention and make that connection stronger. And then know your flow. How to go from those casual conversations into a conversation about your work. You really need to work on that, review that every day. So 10 minutes, 25 minutes, let's call it 25 minutes. Okay. So if I did let's call it 20 minutes. So if I did my pitch at 8:30 and I do that at 8:40, so now it's 9 o'clock for me. The number 3 thing we do every day, we're activating our inner circle. So let's see, tomorrow's Monday. I got to call Deborah, I got to call. These people about the NAACP Image Awards thing. I'm probably going to decline that, but I got to research that. I got to call Eric about the token thing. I got to call Rich because we totally dropped the ball on this project out of West Africa, and I need to see what's going on. He said he had an update, but I didn't hear no update, so I got to call him. Like that. Literally, who are you going to call? Tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Oh my gosh, the girl from Spelman reached out to me. I need to follow up with her. I finally launched my Substack, so the people who told me to let them know, I need to follow up with them. Okay, I'm activating. These are the people I'm going to send a note to. Hey, back from holiday. Hey, you just got back from the cruise. Hey, da, 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 da. Hey, we said we were going to follow up. Hey, I'm literally activating, talking to actual humans. I'm planning who that is. Number 4, broadcast your brilliance. So I've already today. Oh, so let's say that took me, that took me 20 minutes. It's 9:20. Broadcast your brilliance. So I already started working on my social media posts for this week. So I've got my LinkedIn done for the week. I just got to schedule it. And then some of the things like X and stuff, I don't really have a plan yet, but I might be done by today, but I got an event. So if I don't finish, I'm going to schedule, let me give myself 30, 40 minutes to pull some of the articles I've already written, some of the stuff I've already prepared, videos that I've already worked on. Let me see what I can get done. Let's call it 40 minutes to broadcast my brilliance. So now it's 10 o'clock. And then number 5 is document your actions. And it's really the internal stuff that you do in your business for the rest of the day. So by 10 o'clock, I've done all my prep work. Then I go outside, I have my meetings, I make my phone calls because I scheduled when I'm going to call these people. I've texted them early in the morning, maybe. Okay, we'll jump on at 3, whatever that is, right? I already have meetings, I have the board meeting, I have different things already scheduled throughout the day. I go through my day, I do the thing, make sure I've scheduled my social to go out for the day. I got to get on here with you guys at 2 o'clock. You know what I mean? I have a couple of other meetings or whatever. And then, so 6 o'clock, let's call it 6 o'clock tomorrow, 6 p.m. I'm going to come back in here, take notes from all of my meetings throughout the day, all of my, let me send them a worksheet, a workbook, all of my, everything I said I was going to do. It goes back into somewhere that is documented in my CRM, So by 6:30, I'm done. I need you to schedule every single day like that, including these 5 things that we don't neglect. So let's say you have mapped out your whole week and those 5 things are on there for the whole week. Okay. Then you also are going to have your existing obligations. You already have meetings and stuff already on your calendar, stuff you got to do. Cool. Then third aspect, which goes into this number 5 bucket, because that's only 20%. 80% of what you're doing should be forward facing, dealing with actual humans. So in that 20% bucket, where I say document your actions and do things that are internal, central office and back office stuff for your business, I need you to pick for the week 3 or 4 priorities. So like, I really need to get this website updated. Okay, fine. Make sure that's on your calendar somewhere. So for me, because the way my days are scheduled, I don't do nothing before 10, 11 o'clock. I'm just not public facing. I'm not doing it. So that means for me, I could either get up early in the morning and do like some creative stuff, working on a website or designing a flyer or little stuff like that. Or I could do it in the evening hours, like say from 6:30 to 7:30. We're going to have dinner about 7:30 or so. We plan on going to that restaurant. I think that's tomorrow. So I have like a little hour gap in there. So, I can go in there and play with the Canva and do whatever for a little time, but that's not the majority of my day, right? So if you got 3 or 4 major priorities that you need to get done, you schedule them around your existing obligation stuff you got to do for school, for work, for kids, for home, whatever you already have to do. And these 5 non-negotiables must be on your calendar. Then you pick your top 3 or 4 priorities. I got to finish this book because I got this call coming up on the 21st. I think I actually need to go in and change that date, but I have a call on the 21st with the author of this book. I need to read the book. So we put it there, 8:30. After we finish doing this net or 9 o'clock, I'm going to read for an hour for the next 3 days. Now I'll be done. Put it on your schedule. Got to get my website updated because such and such is coming from out of town and they need to see, they asked me for a proposal and I told them I'd get to it by Tuesday. Put it on your schedule. 3 or 4 top priorities. Put it on your schedule. In addition to I got 5 on it, 5 a day, things that you do every single day should be on your schedule. And then that's it. Now we got a schedule and we follow it. That's pretty much it. That's it. So then on the weekend, next weekend, let's say you haven't been doing that, but by next weekend, you will be able to chill on a Saturday or a Sunday, before you watch the game or go to your favorite cafe or whatever. Sit down, have your notebook, have your calendar, have your CRM or your device or whatever, and you can go back and look and say, okay, how did I do this week? Okay, I missed a couple of appointments. Let me go ahead and reschedule those appointments with myself. I said I was going to do this. I didn't quite get to it. Let me make sure that gets on here for next week. Okay, what were my key insights? Oh, I need to actually transcribe. I recorded that conversation, but I haven't had time to pull those notes. Let me do that. So you're doing that in your planning time and then letting that inform what you do differently the next week. So now when I'm practicing my pitch, I'm not just practicing the same old pitch. I'm practicing because I had a brain blast and I said this to a group of people and they lost their minds. So I'm like, oh, or I had a call with the client and she was like, can you come and speak to my church group? And so I'm like, oh, I need to take all them scriptures that I don't use anymore and put that into what I already teach about entrepreneurship because it's in there and they gonna go crazy. So I need to put that on my calendar for next week to create something for this group. She just asked me to do a public speaking engagement, or I got to go speak for Grameen, or I got to go, they asked me to come to LA to do this thing. So that goes on my planning, my schedule for next week. Or I learned that the NFL is actually interested, but they said I got to talk to this person. So I need to find somebody to give me a warm introduction instead of me hitting them cold. I know somebody, so let me call Boog and tell them, hey, can you get me a meeting with this guy? So let me send that. You know what I'm saying? Now everything builds on top of each other and you stay in a high frequency. You're not freaking out. It's fine. I got something to do. I got something that is due, rather. My lawyer's going to handle that. Look, send a note to him. I'm not getting emotional. I'm letting him handle it. You know what I mean? Somebody tried to do this and that. It doesn't matter. I'm detached. You know what I mean? Like you keep your emotions high, your plan solid, and you look for the patterns, incorporate, and we rise. But it's impossible to not rise if you live your life this way. So that's really literally it, y'all, for today. That's it. So I want you to lead with practicing your pitch every morning. Get really comfortable with storytelling, using exact language that you know is going to connect with people, being present in the moment when you speak. Like, don't just do your pitch and just rattle it off. Like, be present. When you're doing your pitch, next time you talk to a human, they need to feel your whole essence right there with them. There's so much power in that. Make everybody feel like they're an audience of one when you talk to them. Your whole life is going to get different. You can do it. And the more you have all these things kind of settled and your schedule and systems in place supporting your life, the more you can show up and be present and the more powerful you are. There's no lack. Lack is an illusion. And when you raise the bar, you can see above it. And it's like, oh, I don't fall for that anymore. You know, I'm not 3 years old anymore. You can't be like, boom, it's going to scare me. It's not going to scare me. Like, I'm good now. That's why I want you to rise. You won't be afraid when you get a bill. You won't be afraid when you don't know what to do. You'll be excited. It's like, okay, we're tapping into wisdom. Here we go. I feel like I'm supposed to go this way. Let's go this way. Boom, because I'm going to learn something. There's something over here I didn't know was there. I don't have to know everything. I'm following a GPS. Why do I have to know everything? You got a whole internal guidance system. And the more you live your life orderly, the more you keep your emotions and your nervous system under control, the more you follow systems so that the things that need to be handled are handled all the time, because this is what you do. What you do most frequently is your frequency. You live here now. The more you do that, the more you're open, creating space for, oh my God, the NBA and the NFL want to do a deal with us. Oh my God, it's not just that one African country, it's all three of them. They're ready to go right now. Oh my God, this corporation just called and said, da, 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 da. Like, there's space for that. Versus, I'm freaking out. It's too tight. Nothing can come in. Nothing can come in the energetic field when we're out. Oh, I'm behind. Oh my God, I didn't do. I don't know what to do. Let's reset. Let's reset our identity. Let's seek expansion. This don't take all day. Y'all see that? I planned my whole thing in less than 2 hours. Then I go live my life, do the thing, and go head on. I got systems in my house. I know when the laundry is gonna get done. I know when my hair is gonna get done. I know what I'm wearing. I got my stuff in order in the house. I've told y'all that for 6 months. Get your stuff together in the house. I know where the food is coming from. I know when I'm cooking and when I'm ordering. I know when I'm, it's the system. So I don't have to struggle. I don't have to feel no way. And that's where the flow is. There's so much more. Like we're creating wealth. We're creating generational wealth. I can't even say that because he was a horrible person, but you're the John Rockefeller of your family. Like you're establishing something. You're changing your family tree. So you can't be caught up all in the weeds down there. Your future great grandbabies are going to be winning in Madagascar or wherever you end up moving to, versus the alternate reality where they in here trapped in some crazy digital control grid with some techno feudalist AI overlord, literally in a city, a freedom city run by billionaires who don't think that you deserve to have a voice in how your life goes. Trapped in a social credit system, a caste system that they can't get out of for generations because you don't want to do this work right now while we have the freedom to do it. So that's my offer, my invitation to you is to stay on this journey, believe in yourself, change your beliefs, shift how you're showing up, right? And start to schedule your time in a way that you can get a different outcome. You can get a different outcome just by changing your beliefs, regulating your nervous system, follow the prescribed path. It's not like, okay, what do I do and have infinite choices in my business? I'm giving you the toolkit and apply those things to your business and set a time and place and be present when you show up on those phone calls, present when you show up in those meetings, present as you do your planning, present as okay, let me do this new offer. Or even if you're studying something, it's like, I need to learn a new skill. I don't know what I'm doing. Be present, because your brain is going to fire and you're going, oh, I didn't see that. Ooh, it's going to take you somewhere. Every day is like these amazing things can happen every day. It's not like 10 years from now, I don't know when. Every day, your phone will start ringing differently. You can do this. Y'all can do this. So any questions, comments, concerns, challenges, perspectives, or personal feedback that you want to share in the form of story time before we get off the phone? Oh, I did it in an hour. Look at me. You can have your Sunday back. Anybody? Good. So if our hearts and minds are clear, y'all